Yes, hello everyone. How's it going? What's the crack? My name is Michael, and welcome back to the Mick podcast and the first episode of 2021. We did it. 2020's over. Coronavirus is gone. Life is free now to go back to normal and as it was, except it's not. At the time of recording, Boris has just finished about 10 minutes ago announcing lockdown 3, and that things are going back to how they were in March, and seemingly we're back to square one, because now more than ever we should pull together. Now more than ever it is more important, says Boris, even though now more than ever in March, and now more than ever in September, and probably now more than ever in April coming up as well. However, we are where we are. We're in the new year, and things things didn't disappear like everybody was hoping they would. We're on Monday the 4th of January. Most people went back to work today. It's pretty grim day for most, and of course I'm sure that announcement didn't help too many people on top of that. But anyway, we're here talking about every year there's the new year, new me. But this year feels, I don't know, well for me it does anyway, I'm not sure about everybody else, but for me it feels a lot different. I'm sort of going, new year, what me? Like, what could I be doing differently this year that I haven't already been doing for the past 9 or 10 months in the house? You know, we're limited slightly, depends on how you look at it, but there are chances and there are things that we can do to be the new year, new you. Of course, everybody, I'll get into sort of what I'm hoping to do and whatever else this year, but like, everybody's getting fitter, everybody's going on the diet, everybody's cutting out the drinking, the eating, the ordering food. It's all come to an end, for a lot of weeks anyway. You get the odd few every year, fair play to you, that stick through it, that soldier on and come summertime are as fit as whatever, but that's never been me, and I don't think it's going to happen this year. I haven't really planned for it to happen this year, and this is sort of why I feel like it was better for me to talk about it in a podcast rather than just I don't know, think about it, because every year, and this is probably every year now for the past 3 or 4, I would always write down New Year's resolutions. I would always sit in that gap between Christmas and New Year and say, this is what I want to do. Sometimes I put them on a big page and I'd set them away. Sometimes in the past couple of years I've put them on a wee post-it note and I've kept them in my wallet, just so that there is like a constant reminder, of course, because I have all that money and I'm always in my wallet. Not. But just it's somewhere that you're always looking at, and it's a constant reminder of what you'd set out to achieve. And right hand up to God, I know it looks like left on the video, right hand up to God, I haven't done a single thing that I've wrote down for the past couple of years. That's probably because I didn't tell anybody, so I feel like if I put it out in the open, maybe I'll be held slightly accountable. Yeah, it's good, like, you know, you want to get fit, get in better shape, do different things, but those come across as slightly, what's the word, generic. Everybody does them. It's sort of just what you do in the new year. You sort of you get rid of the Christmas crap. Do you know what I mean? You've spent, well, I'm talking for most people here, you know, you spend that month of December there eating, you know, nicer food or eating more food than what you would have done the entire year. However, in my case, it's been going on for 21 years that I've just been eating shit, so there's nothing's really changed. Yeah, if you want to, I don't know what the word is, keep track, keep up to date. I'm trying to segue this somehow. Keep up to date with how these New Year's resolutions that I'm going to go through before going to other people's. If you want to see how I'm keeping up with mine, you can follow me at the Mick podcast on Instagram, at MichaelLavy98 on Twitter, and then Facebook as well. The YouTube videos and stuff, you can see how I look. And unlucky for you for having to watch, because it's not something that I would enjoy sitting down and look at, my big ugly face. Anyway, the words, the notes I've sort of wrote down, as I was mentioning there earlier, is like trying not to be generic. Now, I don't think I'm going to come up with something that's never been done before. In fact, in a way they are. This sounds so backwards, but in a way they are generic. But I feel like I'm trying to break off from what I usually do. Like I would usually do dry January. I wouldn't drink fizzy. Well, try not to drink fizzy drinks or like Boost, particularly Boost, for the entire month of December. And I wouldn't, or January, sorry. And I wouldn't order food. I wouldn't order takeout. Now, anybody that's watching the YouTube video, and for those listening, I'll give you a wee sample of what I'm talking about. Sitting beside me is a bottle of Red BPM. So that's that out the window. The first one, I'm sort of, it's like a mental one. It's keep yourself at a positive mindset. Like keep your head above water. Keep doing things that make you happy. Now, granted, they might be counterproductive in ways of, yes, bottles of BPM, bottles of Boost, whatever else, pizzas and stuff aren't necessarily the best for my physical well-being. However, if I fancy a wee bottle of something, I'm going to go buy it, just because I don't want to have to put myself through the stress of keeping a promise that I'm only keeping for the sake of a month. Whereas if I could just limit it a wee bit more, but bad in every so often, you know, I'm making this sound like a drug. I don't need these drinks and foods and stuff like a drug to keep me happy, but I'm saying like it's an unnecessary stress to put on yourself to say that I'm going off this just because it's a new month. Now, on the other hand, try balance it out. I'm going to try walk a wee bit more. I got a nice one of those wee fitness watches for Christmas, so I'll use it, get the steps up, get the step counter going, try challenge myself to walk a wee bit more. So there's that. There's you give and you take, if that makes sense. The goals I'm trying to talk about are like personalised, and I'm sure many of the people listening at home as well are thinking the same thing. Everybody goes off this, everybody does that. What can I do for myself? And now more than ever, and I don't want to sound like a COVID preacher because it's not my place and everybody knows how to deal with themselves in this situation, but when we have this wee bit of time where other things are being set to the side, when it's quieter, when, you know, when you'd be at home perhaps a bit more, I feel like I'm back in March. Take that time, just try something different. I mean, truthfully, like honest to God, truth be told, if it wasn't for the first like lockdown and stuff, this podcast probably wouldn't have happened. And it's been a great distraction for me. It's great fun. I absolutely love doing it, but it was a distraction. Like it was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to do it for a long time, but if the world was just normal, I wouldn't have the time. And now then that I did, and now that I do, it's something that I'm so glad that I started. So personalised goals, keep them, for me anyway. I'm not trying to lecture anybody. Keep the mindset positive, and do that however you need to do it. Don't think there's a set way, a blanket that covers everybody. The next word I have wrote down is attainable. I want to make goals that are attainable. Now, the stuff that I have wrote down is mainly podcast related, because as I said, I usually had everything wrote down coming into January. This year I didn't write a thing, and for the first couple of days there I was a bit panicky. It's like, oh my god, I haven't this wrote down. I don't know how am I going to get through this year because I don't have any goals wrote down, despite the fact for the 4 years previous to that I never once met them. So there's a flexibility to it. There's needs to be an attainability to it, and that's why I've put most of my ideas and thoughts going forward towards the podcast, because I want to enjoy it more. Well, not enjoy it more because I'm enjoying it loads. I want other people to enjoy it. I want it to be enjoyable, interactive, fun. I don't know, is that the right word? You get my general gist. But most of my plans going forward are for the podcast, and I actually didn't write them in this book, which is smart now that I'm sitting here. It's in a book somewhere. Okay, so it's up there. But I can sort of remember them off my head. I want to sort of like grow the followers on the Instagram page. I want to get a set amount of listeners and stuff, and just things like that there. I want to have guests on. I want to be consistent in how much I put out. Now, I'm not saying I want to end up with 1,000 followers at the end of the year, because I know that's unrealistic, and that's why I'm talking about attainability. I have this idea that if I just keep working along, keep doing this bit by bit, hopefully I get to where I need to be. And if I even achieve, I've wrote down maybe 8, if I achieve 3 of them, I'll be delighted, because beforehand I was never achieving New Year's resolutions. So I also said I want to, well, yeah, there were some university ones related that I put down. I'm supposed to be in the summer. Now, whether or not I'll get in the summer, I'm meant to be travelling to Hungary and Slovenia to cover the European Championship, under 20 championships. Pardon me, that was just me kicking something and I've wrecked my toe. Yes, the under 20 championships in Europe in the summer. Now, whether or not we actually get is a different story, but things like that, I want to be able to take experiences away from that and say, I interviewed this person, or I reported for this outlet, or whatever. That's another one. I also want to read more. I don't read. I never, since leaving school, I don't read at all. It's just something that I've never got into. Ashlyn, she reads all the time. She's read all the Harry Potters all the times, if that makes sense. Every time what are you reading now? Oh, the Harry Potters again. And then if we go away for like a week to Donegal or something, she'll read a book in that time. Now, I got 2 books for Christmas, and there's, I don't know how many chapters in the first one I'm reading, but I'm on to like chapter 5 already. It's a biography. It's Rory Story's biography, and I'm already saying, like, this is going to take me a long time to finish. Reading books, it's really interesting. The book itself is really, really interesting, but I know it's going to take me a while because this isn't my thing. The other one is like about leadership and stuff in sports people, so that's slightly different, but that's another one of the goals. Now, I'm aware I've rambled on. That should probably be a goal. Stop talking shit, just get to the point. Don't think I'm very good at that, so I'm not going to make that promise to myself, because I don't think I'll be able to hold it. Obviously now we've like more time in the house, so PlayStation here beside me is going to get fired up now over Christmas, because I was in university, didn't bring it with me. I missed it so much. So over the Christmas period I have been, for lack of a better word, flat out on the PlayStation. And now that the only thing we're going to be doing is leaving the house for work, it's going to be work on PlayStation and uni work whenever it starts back up, God knows when. So myself and the lads back on the PlayStation. That's how we keep in contact with each other now, and that's what we did for most of 2020. It's just, right, who's coming on the PlayStation, and we could, like, realistically we could sit for hours at a time. It's easy to pass time when you're sitting in the virtual world. Unfortunately, the real world, time is passing by quickly, but the days are going so slowly, which is unfortunate because we're not really filling it with anything fruitful. And I don't think I'll be going back to England for a while, where, as I said, we're on the 4th of January. I don't think we'll be going to England. I don't think I'll be going back to England probably mid to end February, if even. Because there's no point. I mean, I'm going over there to sit to do a 3-hour in-person class. I would be going to England for the sake of 3 hours a week, and that's crazy. It's just not worth it. The only problem is then I'm still paying for the halls and stuff, and that's shit because I'm not using them. So I put, where's my phone? Here we go. Put on the Instagram and stuff. It was the Instagram, actually. I say and stuff, it was just Instagram. Asking people for, now let me get this right, what was their highlight of 2020, if you can call it that, if there was such a thing, and what was their 2021 New Year's resolution. And thank you to the people that replied, legends as always. Some cases are like, so see, this is the thing, right? Most of the people, and this includes yourself who's listening to it, are people that I know. It's very, very rare that I get strangers, and most of the people know the other people that listen to it. Now, I'm not saying there's 3 people. There's quite a few people, but I read out names and I'm like, oh, should I have given that person's name out? Everybody knows everybody, so I'm just going to throw in the names. Okay, well, you know what? I'll roll with it. I'll be flexible about that. Roisin, my cousin Roisin's, her favourite part about 2020 was becoming an auntie to 2 fantastic twin boys, Podrick and Dahi, who sadly are in San Francisco, 6,000 miles away, so nobody's been able to meet them yet. But the boys are doing great, and they look like 2 wee Hallions. The Hallion Battalion, live from San Francisco. Burnsy says Galway. Yeah, all the lads went to Galway there. I didn't, for reasons I can't remember. Oh yeah, because I used up all my holidays and work. And then also just sat in the house for 10-11 weeks because of furlough. So I don't think work was going to give me any more time off. This is a coveted one. Rachel Daly, Shanks' girlfriend, made it to the Herc for the first time ever. Congratulations to you, Rachel, on that momentous occasion. You always remember your first Herc. Conor Lowry, the younger brother, passing the driving test. Yeah, hadn't a clue. Fair play to Conor. And now we've got an extra taxi driver about. Ashlyn says Freshers Week. Now this is one occasion where I'll leave the name out of it. Weeks 1 to 3 of uni, so freshers of uni, and X giving the whole of Port Stewart COVID. Now I don't know whether that's a confirmed report or not, but that's very funny. And then Ashlyn's friend Maeve says getting corona and not being able to taste for 2 months and still can't smell. That's wild. If I lost my taste of food, maybe that's when I'd start a health kick. Can't taste it, can't taste vegetables, can't taste fruit. Wired enema. Maybe then it'll be good for me. My mum says she got the last party before lockdown. My mum's 50th birthday was in March, and 3 days later the entire country was all stay indoors please. Keep you updates with Richie McGee. Getting involved in getting into the podcast world helps keep connected to old friends and tune into the Mick podcast. I appreciate that, Richie. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is what I found as well. You get to talk and meet with a lot of people. Say meet, you're not allowed to meet anybody. Talk to people online that are involved in podcasts and podcasting, and it's networking, isn't it? If I can use, am I cool enough to use that word? I've been networking. I'm going to stick with it. I'm declaring myself cool enough. I don't care what it just says. My cousin Stephen says having a son. Yes, congratulations to Stephen and Faye on the birth of their son Eamon. Again in Liverpool, so nobody's been able to meet him yet. Hopefully we can soon. Unfortunately it doesn't look like it's going to be for another while, but we move. Congratulations to them. And Bafal O'Bills, or Andy as he goes by in his government name, is a massive supporter of the Buffalo Bills, and his highlight of 2020 was of course his team, who are convincing me more and more that they're going to go to the Super Bowl. Obviously I intended for this to be a majority sports podcast when it started. It's turned into a majority shag talk podcast in the interim. However, we'll get back to talking about the sports sometime. I mean, the Super Bowl's coming up, the NFL playoffs are starting next weekend. The regular season just finished yesterday. So yeah, maybe a playoff predictor or a Super Bowl preview or something along those lines. Man United play Liverpool in 2 weeks time. 2 weeks yesterday. So I think I've got a friend of mine, Amit, lined up to come on the podcast either on the night of or in the week after or whatever to review United versus Liverpool. One of us, he's a Liverpool fan unfortunately, pray for him. One of us will hopefully be happy and the other hopefully fuming. I don't want it to be a draw. I would rather there be a winner and a loser. So then the next question was my 2021 resolution is, and most of the same people followed through and answered on this one. We'll start in reverse order. So Andy says he wants to see the Bills win the Super Bowl. That would be a fantastic start to 2021. Stephen says the goal is not to have another son. So stressful enough 2020. We'll just we'll stick with the 2 kids at the minute. Smart move. Richie says read more, drink less, move more, worry less. Put that on a poster, please. That's motivational as hell. I love that, Richie. Nice one. Who's this here? Where should I go back? I think I missed one. Yeah, it did. Who did I miss first? I'm all Miss Dodgy. GCSE results, even though I finessed way through them. Yeah, computer generated results. Shout out to the lads that got their GCSE results without having to do any exams. So that was his highlight of 2020. His goal for 2021: go to the gym more and work on my football ability more. Get up to Downhill Park and practice hitting the crossbar. That's the best way to do it. Chris from TAC, that's how I refer. Met him last year in TAC. Chris from TAC, beef up and ball out, boy. Yeah, big fan of the basketball is Chris. I can picture he actually played basketball in Europe for a while, so I can see that. That's his goal for the year. Worry less and more chill. Shout out Ashlyn, please chill more. You're stressing me out. Burns is the same as me. Burns is looking to read more. Read 10 pages a night. I agree with that. I think we're maturing as a friendship group. To make more effort with myself, now this made me laugh, and it's completely not true. To make sure I don't look dead or ill. That was from Roisin, who has done a fantastic job in losing a lot of weight and getting in brilliant shape. So I read that and laughed because it's funny, but give after because it's not true, because she's looking great as is. And the last one, so yes, Ashlyn Dixon, my friend from work, she has, like, I don't know whether it's a TikTok challenge or like a thing she's read online, but basically save £1 a week, and by the last week you're saving or is it a day? No, it's a week. So say every Friday put £1 in, and by the last week you're putting £52 in. She's decided that she's going to do it in reverse, because after 2 weeks, if you've saved £3, it doesn't feel like anything, but if you do 52 and 51, there's £103 saved in 2 weeks. So she says by the end of it you should have 1,300 saved. Well, maybe need to do that myself because I'm skint. But sure, going about working now through this next year's lockdown. Not a pub open in sight, not a pint to be had, not a shot to be bought, not a Jaeger bomb to be drank. And that's the end of my poem. But anyway, yeah, so the outlook is weird, not to sound like a weatherman, but we're stumbling into 2021 much the same as we left 2020, except there's a bit of hope, a bit of expectation that this year will be better come the summertime and come the end of it. And as long as you have hope, you have everything. And if you hold on to it, then hopefully the year will be alright. As for the podcast, I'm hoping to commit to 2 episodes a month, as always, the Tuesdays on the Instagram page. I want to add in like another feature, maybe like a, I don't know, somebody think of something creative there quickly. Think it Thursdays or Thursday thinkers, or I don't know, something along the lines that's going to get people interacting, people talking. But other than that, I think that'll do it for this episode. As I said, Amit will be on to talk Liverpool in a couple of weeks' time. I might have an episode in between then, who knows. If I do, lucky you. sorry. So yeah, that'll do it for this episode, folks. As always, follow the Mick Love Podcast on Instagram, MichaelLavery98 on Twitter, Michael Lavery on Facebook. Go back and watch the episodes I did there over Christmas. One with Ashlyn, one with my 2 brothers Kieran. It's on YouTube as well, done really well on YouTube, so thanks to everybody that watched it on YouTube. And the one in Doyle's Bar as well, Mates Rate with Doubt. So that'll do it for this episode, and thanks so much everybody for listening. Thanks so much everybody for sending in your New Year's resolutions and your highlights of 2020, and I'll see you all in the next episode of the Mick Love Podcast. Thanks.